Hey guys, it's quote unquote your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great commentary. Before I start, I just want to say that I'm not closing down this channel and I am not discontinuing Black Pill content. However, I do think that I'm going to be producing less content and much less Black Pill stuff simply because I've run out of stuff to say about the Black Pill. And if you look at my content history, when it seems like I was pushing out a lot of content, a high volume of content, when I was pushing out a high volume of content, it was because I was doing a lot of Black Pill stuff, which is, was good, but, ultimately there's only so much you can say about the Black Pill. And the other stuff, I mean, there's other things I can talk about, but those aren't going to be, like this video will be something a little different. Those videos aren't going to be, I'm not necessarily going to have as much, I'm not going to be as prolific discussing those other subjects. So, I'm still going to be around, but I just won't be making content as frequently and producing as much content. So anyway, this is something I found. I think I've actually seen it before, but I guess I got reminded of it. And I don't know what the 16 types are, but basically their theory is that there's 16 types of personalities, and you take this test and it tells you which one of the 16 you are. So if you're interested, I guess you go to 16personalities.com and you get a free profile. And then if you're interested, you can pay them to give you an in-depth profile. But I would advise against that because they already got tons of shit wrong in the free profile. So they're not, for me at least, so they're not making a great case for it. But we'll talk about some of the things they got wrong, and maybe it's not as bad as it seems on the surface. So I came out as a mediator personality, INFPA. It says that over here. I can't. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Shoot. Well, I can't make the screen any bigger, so I can't show it to you. But if you'll see it there, I am an INFPA. I don't know what the INF stands for. I'm assuming the P stands for personality. A means assertive, and T means turbulent. And I came out as an assertive mediator. That doesn't necessarily mean you are assertive. It means that it's just a way of describing it. Like you're, I have no idea. I don't really get what it means. But anyway, let's see what the personality thing says and see where it's accurate and where it's inaccurate. Although they may seem quiet or unassuming, mediators, INFPs, have vibrant and passionate inner lives. Vibrant, yes. Passionate, I used to say yes. These last year, I would say not so much. So I give them credit for that. It's not the test's fault that I've been a wreck for the last 12 months. Creative and imaginative, they happily lose themselves in daydreams, inventing all sorts of stories and conversations in their minds. Yes, this has always been true. These personalities are known for their sensitivity. Yes, that's me. Mediators can have profound emotional responses to music, art, nature, and to the people around them. These days, not really, but yeah, I would say in the case that's been true. So far, so good. Idealistic and empathetic. Mediators long for deep, soulful relationships, and they feel called to help others. Okay, idealistic and empathetic, yes. Long for deep, soulful relationships, absolutely not. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. I'm definitely not into that. And they feel called to help others. No, not really. Not really. I mean, when I come across somebody who I feel like needs help, then I do feel like a strong, desire to help them. It's very frustrating at work when I talk to somebody who is in a tough situation and, maybe I can save them money on insurance, but I want to do more to help them and I can't. So I guess in that sense, yes. So we'll say, so far so good, except for the deep soulful relationships, which is completely wrong, but everything else has been right. But because this personality type makes up such a small portion of the population, mediators may sometimes feel lonely or invisible, adrift in a world that doesn't seem to appreciate the traits that make them unique. Well, I never feel lonely. As for invisible, I mean, I don't know. I mean, no, I don't feel invisible. And a world that doesn't seem to appreciate the traits. No, I don't think that. I've never felt like my personality was unappreciated or anything. So I think so that's not me. So that's wrong too. So what do we have? Two wrong things. Um, all that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. And that was said by J.R.R. Tolkien. Not really sure what that means, but whatever. The gift of empathy. Mediators share a sincere curiosity about the depths of human nature. Well, I don't know what that means, so I will just leave that one blank. Introspective to the core, they're exquisitely attuned to their own thoughts and feelings, but they yearn to understand the people around them as well. I don't think that's true. I feel like I've always just naturally really understood other people very well. So I would, I do, I guess I'll give them partial credit for that one. I do like to understand people, but to me, I'm either able to understand people easily or at least able to think that I understand them really easily. Mediators are compassionate and non-judgmental, always willing to hear another person's story. Again, these days, not so much, but yeah, that has historically been the case. When someone opens up to them or turns to them for comfort, they feel honored to listen and be of help. Again, used to be the case. Not so much easier, just because I'm so worn down and jaded. But yeah, I think that's fair. Empathy is among this personality's greatest gifts, but at times it can be a liability. Their troubles of the world weigh heavily on the mediator's shoulders, and these personalities can be vulnerable to internalize other people's negative moods or mindsets. Well, I've definitely had times where like stuff happening to other people has like made me depressed or whatever. Like, you know, it's like I was like too empathetic. But as for internalizing other people's negative moods or mindsets, no, I don't think that's. I don't really. Not really. I don't think that's true. But the other thing is true. Unless they learn to set boundaries, mediators may feel overwhelmed by just how many wrongs are that need to be set right. Yeah, I mean that feeling of being overwhelmed by stuff. I mean, it has happened. It can happen. So yeah, I don't know. Speaking their truth. Few things make mediators more uneasy than pretending to be something they are. That's very true. With their sensitivity and their commitment, I can never do that fake it till you make it stuff. With their sensitivity and their commitment to authenticity, people with this personality type tend to crave opportunities for creative self-expression. No, totally wrong. Totally wrong. Unless you're going to say like these videos are creative self-expression. So in that sense, yes, but not in like the typical way like I like to paint or I like to write or make movies or shit like that. No, I mean, although I guess I was into writing more when I was a kid, so I don't know. So I don't know. I kind of see what they're saying. I mean, this could kind of apply to me. It just depends on what you mean. It comes as no surprise then that many famous mediators are poets, writers, actors, and artists. You see, yeah, those that's like so not me. The acting, no, never had any interest. Artist, no, never had any interest. I had it like the opposite. I hated those things. Writers, yes, I did do a lot of creative writing when I was a kid. Grew out of it pretty fast. Have no interest in getting back into it. Poets, I've always hated poetry. So no, they can't help but muse about the meaning and purpose of life. That's true. Dreaming up all sorts of stories, ideas, and possibilities along the way. Very true. So far, it's pretty good. Actually better than I remember it, but I think you'll see the other ones are pretty bad. Then in this world, mediators have a talent for self-expression. They may reveal their innermost thoughts and secrets through metaphors and fictional characters. I don't know. I would need an example to know what they're talking about. Through these imaginative landscapes, mediators can explore their own inner nature as well as their place in the world. While this is a beautiful trait, these personalities sometimes show a tendency to daydream and fantasize rather than to take action. Yes, definitely true. To avoid feeling frustrated, unfulfilled, or incapable, mediators need to make sure they take steps to turn their dreams and ideas into reality. Well, I mean, my only real dream was to be, a world champion boxer, and my health kind of prevented that, so not sure what else I'm supposed to do. In search of a calling. People with this personality type tend to feel directionless or stuck until they connect with a sense of purpose for their lives. Yes, so this is Casey Zander writing this thing, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've actually felt the other way around. I've always felt like when I was happiest, it was like I felt like I didn't need any purpose. I was like, I just do my thing, and but there does always have to be something like I'm like extremely interested in, or I'm pretty miserable if I don't have that. Certainly, at least bored. But it doesn't actually have to be something like with any productive value. It doesn't even have to involve me doing anything. Just me reading about it is enough. For many mediators, this purpose has something to do with uplifting others and their ability to feel other people's suffering as if it was their own. No, not really. While mediators want to help everyone, they need to focus their energy and efforts, otherwise they can end up exhausted. Yeah, well, especially when you have as little energy as me. Fortunately, like flowers in the spring, mediators' creativity and idealism can bloom even after the darkest of seasons. Although they know the world will never be perfect, mediators still care about making it better however they can. This quiet belief in doing the right thing may explain why these personalities so often inspire compassion, kindness, and beauty wherever they go. Okay? So, strengths and weaknesses of mediators. Let's see what they say about my strengths. Empathetic. Yes, I agree that would probably be one of my greatest strengths. Mediators don't just care about other people in an abstract sense. These personalities can actually feel another person's emotions, from a joy and elation to sorrow and regret. I never really can feel people's joy, but I can feel their sorrows. I am super empathetic. Because of this sensitivity, mediators tend to be thoughtful and kind-hearted, and they hate the idea of hurting anyone, even unintentionally. Yeah, I mean, that's mostly true. Or I would never want to hurt somebody in a way that I couldn't take myself. Like, like he, I mean, like I said, for a long time, my dream was to be a boxer, and boxing involves hurting people. But it was always like, like physically hurting people was one thing, but I would never want to like, permanently damage them or cause them like, emotional distress. But physical pain, I mean, I don't like physical pain, but I wouldn't mind putting a certain degree of it on somebody else. But I mean, I hear what they're saying, and I think that's true. Generous. Yes, I am super generous. Mediators rarely enjoy succeeding at other people's expense. It's true. I don't. They feel called to share the good things in their lives, give credit where credit's due, and uplift the people around them. Yes, absolutely. These personalities want to contribute to a world where every voice is heard and no one's needs go unmet. Well, I don't want anyone's needs to go unmet, but I don't think that every voice needs to be heard. I think that most people are morons, and I'm not interested in hearing what they have to say, and it would be better off if other people didn't either. Open-minded, tolerant and accepting. Mediators try not to judge anyone else's beliefs, lifestyles, or decisions. That doesn't really sound like me. I mean, in some ways it kind of is, but in some ways it's really not. Like certainly if you were going to say Joe Biden is a decent man, I would judge the shit out of you for that. I mean, I would understand that like there may have been some trauma or something that made you so delusional, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I try not to judge anyone else as a person, but absolutely I will judge the shit out of their beliefs, lifestyles, or decisions. And I would not describe myself as particularly tolerant or accepting. This is a personality, I mean, maybe accepting, but tolerant, I don't know. It depends how you mean it. This is a personality type that prefers compassion to fault finding. Yes. And many mediators feel empathy even for those who have done wrong. That's very true. Always the case with that's always been the case with me. Because they're so accepting, mediators often become confidants for their friends and loved ones, and occasionally for total strangers. Yeah, I mean, kind of. This has been more the case historically, not so much today. But yeah, I see what they're saying. I think that's true. Creative. Mediators love to see things from unconventional perspectives. Yes, absolutely. Few things give them more pleasure than allowing their minds to wander through all sorts of ideas and possibilities and dangers. Yeah, but then sometimes it can be like really annoying and I just want it to stop. But yes. It's no wonder then that many mediators are drawn to creative pursuits, or that this personality type is well represented amongst writers and artists. Well, if that's what you mean by creative, it's not me, because I'm definitely no writer or no artist. Passionate. When an idea or movement captures their imagination, mediators want to give their whole heart to it. Yes, absolutely. People with this personality type may not always be outspoken, but that doesn't diminish their strong feelings for a cause that speaks to their beliefs and convictions. Very true. Idealistic. Mediators strive to follow their conscience, even when doing the right thing isn't easy or convenient. True. They rarely lose sight of their desire to live a meaningful, purposeful life. False. Completely false. Totally wrong. One that helps others and leaves the world a better place. Nope. False. False. Feel no drive to leave the world a better place whatsoever. Again, helping others, again, in the abstract, no. I have no desire to help others in the abstract. It's when I actually see somebody, though, who's in need or come across, then yes, then that does exist. So it's not like it's completely wrong, but that, like, the thing that I need a purposeful life, no. And I've been saying it forever. Like, no, I don't. I don't. It's not something I really have any interest in. No. Mediator, is that guy wearing a turban or is that a woman? I can't tell. Mediator INFP weaknesses. Okay, let's hear. Unrealistic. Well, we haven't read it yet, but I don't think that's true. Nothing in the world is perfect, and that can be a difficult truth for mediators to accept. People with this personality type can be hopeless romantics with rose-colored visions of what their lives should be like. I don't know. I don't think that's true. This can set mediators up for disappointment when reality inevitably falls short of their dreams. I mean, this has happened, but this was more when I was younger. I feel like I grew out of this pretty quick. So partial credit, maybe. Self-isolating. Mediators long to connect with others, but they don't always know how. See, I don't feel any longing to connect with others. I mean, I'm not like, I need to have some socialization. Like, it's just like a need, just like I need some, like, here's the way I feel. Like, I hate sunshine. I like rainy days. But if there's not, like, I need a certain amount of sunshine or I start to get depressed. It actually has a physical effect on me, even though I dislike the sun, dislike sunny days, and love rainy days. But that's kind of how I feel about socialization. Like, I need to have some or I get depressed, but it really wears me out. And I need space from it. And I definitely don't have any longing to have a deep connection with others. But they don't always know how, especially in new environments. Mediators may be reluctant to put themselves out there in ways that would help them make friends or become involved in a new community. Well, that's true. I'm very introverted. As a result, people with this personality type may sometimes feel lonely or isolated. No, not really. Isolated, yes. Lonely, no. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not really. Unfocused. Mediators' imaginative, introspective nature doesn't always lend itself to productivity. Many mediators get frustrated by how difficult they find it to buckle down and get things done. Yeah, that's true. I am unfocused, very, and I'm not great about. I mean, without structure, I can't get anything done. That's true. The problem isn't that they are incapable. Rather, it's that they run into problems when they become so caught up in different ideas and ideals that they fail to commit to a course of action. Nah, it's more just lack of motivation. And it's like stuff like, I'm not like, I'm working and I don't really want to be doing it. I want to do something else. But, yeah, I don't, but I would say it's just kind of a general lack of focus and lack of motivation. Not that I'm so caught up in minutia or anything. Emotionally vulnerable. Emotional attunement of these personalities is among their greatest strengths, but unless mediators establish boundaries, they can be at risk of absorbing other people's negative moods or attitudes. I don't think that's really a problem with me. And in the past, though, I guess I have been kind of emotionally vulnerable. I don't know. Desperate to please. Conflict tends to be stressful for mediators who yearn for harmony and acceptance. When someone dislikes or disapproves of them, these personalities may become fixated on trying to clear the air and change that person's mind. Unfortunately, mediators' desire to please others can drain their energy, eclipsing their inner wisdom and their awareness of their own needs. I mean, it's definitely been a case historically. These days, it's not really an issue. Definitely, one thing that it's really there have been a lot of changes in this past year. From the struggle, the year-long struggle with depression. Definitely made a lot of changes, and one thing is it really got rid of that. Desperate to please. Now I'm still kind of uncomfortable with conflict, but it's kind of like, if somebody's mad at me or doesn't like me or whatever, I'm kind of like, okay, it's not like, I mean, I still think it's unpleasant, but I don't really feel any need to clear the air, as they said, or get over it. I just kind of, it's unpleasant. I accept it and I move on. So it's not one of those things where I say like, oh, I don't care what other people think. No, that's not true. I mean, like, it depends. Like, if it's somebody like who I don't really deal with, then I don't care. But if it's somebody like at work who's like pissed at me or whatever, I mean, that to me that is unpleasant. But I won't try to like reconcile or clear the air. I just kind of say like it is unpleasant. I don't like it. But there's either nothing I can do or there's nothing I'm willing to do. So just deal with it and move on. So, I mean, they're right that has been my tendency historically, but it's just not the case with me today. And again, a lot of these things have really just changed in the past year. And like, due to, like I said, the struggle with depression. Self-critical. Mediators believe they're unique in their unique potential and they desperately want to live up to it, but this can cause them to have unrealistic expectations for themselves. When mediators fail to live up to these visions, they may accuse themselves of being useless or selfish or woefully inadequate. Taken too far, this self-criticism can discourage mediators, leaving to give up on even their dearest dreams. For me, it was the other way around. I gave up on the dreams when I stopped being self-critical. Because I stopped being self-critical because I realized, okay, I just don't have what it takes, to be a boxer or whatever. And there's been, other stuff that but that was the main dream. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been the other way around. So I never had something like where, being self-critical caused me to give up on the dreams. It was because I had the dreams that I was self-critical. So I think there's a, cart before the horse correlation causation thing going on here. Historically, I've been very self-critical, maybe too self-critical, but I don't think that that's a problem at all today. I think I'm over it. Here we go, romantic relationships. We should probably just skip this whole section, but let's see what it has to say. Romantic relationships. Mediators are dreamers and idealists, especially when it comes to romance. False. People with this personality type believe in the power and beauty of true love. For some people, yeah. For me, no. And they sincerely hope to never settle for anything less. False. Absolutely do not want true love. The idea is revolting to me. It's fair to say, then, that mediators approach the world of romance with high expectations. False. They may have spent years daydreaming about the perfect relationship. False. Imagining how it would feel to share their innermost selves with another person. False. That sounds horrific. But the reality of dating can come as something of a shock to mediators, forcing them to grapple with the challenging question. If they want to be in a relationship, will they have to compromise on their ideals? For me, just seeing other relationships, I've never I don't even really know what do they mean compromise on their ideals. I've never really seen anybody have to compromise on their ideals. What I have seen is people have to compromise. Like, you don't want to go to this wedding this weekend? Well, tough shit, because she's your wife and she's going and you have to go with her, and that's part of being in a relationship. And that's the thing that I've never had any tolerance for. I don't want to life's hard enough as it is. I don't want to have to do compromising on my own turf. And it just tells you, because objectively it is unpleasant. And so it tells you how strong the need for romantic connection must be if people are willing to put up with it, because there's no logical justification for it. Hopeless romantics. Mediators don't just want to find a partner, they want to connect with a soulmate. False. Thoughtful and open-minded, these persons, even when I thought I wanted a girlfriend back in middle school and stuff, I didn't think I wanted a soulmate. That's gross. Thoughtful and open-minded, these personalities are generally willing to consider going out with all sorts of people. False. Was always only interested in looks. Mediators pride themselves on their ability to look past a potential partner's superficial traits. Completely false. Never cared about anything but looks, such as appearance, social status, or possessions. Now, I cared a lot. When I was young, I cared about social status too. Possessions, no, I could look past that, I guess, and focus on deeper, more meaningful signs of compatibility. False. Never cared. But it would be a mistake to think that mediators don't have preconceived standards for a significant other. With their active minds and imaginations, people with this personality type tend to develop and carry with them a vision of their ideal partner. A vision that may be based on a favorite fictional character, a person they once knew, or simply stories they've told themselves about how love should look. Can't relate, so I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is just inapplicable to me. This whole section shouldn't be here, so I don't think it's fair to hold this against the test. When they meet someone new, most mediators can't help but compare that person with the ideal soulmate they've envisioned. Unsurprisingly, such comparisons tend to weed out more than a few potential partners. Sounds like they're talking about FDS. It can be difficult, if not impossible, for a real flesh and blood person to live up to mediators' cherished dreams. Making an effort. With time, many mediators come to learn that true love doesn't just magically happen. I mean, I think it does, so I don't know what they're talking about. It takes compromise, understanding, and work. That's a relationship takes that. I don't think that love does. After all, no partner is perfect, and even the most beautiful relationships have their challenges. Fortunately, people with this personality type can find a great deal of joy in the effort it takes to strengthen a relationship. That I could see happening. That I could see. So, I don't know, but I don't know. When they fall in love, mediators reveal just how much passion thrums beneath their quiet exteriors. Devoted and loyal, they nevertheless respect their partner's independence, aiming to accept their partners as they are. Yeah, I think that would probably be true for me. That said, these personalities also want to help their partners learn, grow, and pursue their goals. No, I really don't think so. I mean, it's just, I think that that's kind of stuff you're on your own for. Like, when I have the desire to help people, it's never like, Casey Zander type help people reach their dreams. It's like, that's on you. The only time I really feel desire to help is when it's like they're really hurting and I want to get them out of it. I want them to, but beyond that, it's like, maybe I'd feel different if like I was super fulfilled and had gotten like, everything I wanted out of life. Then yes, I would feel the need to like coach up other people so that to bring them up. But since I myself am not there, I don't feel like any obligation to get people to a point that I myself am not even at. You know what I mean? I mean, if they do get it, I can be happy for them. But I don't feel any obligation to get them there. And with a romantic partner, I think it would be the same way. It'll be like would I really care if they achieve? I mean, again, I'd hope for themselves that they could do it. But I wouldn't feel like I wouldn't really be like trying to coach them up, like I said. Mediators are always dreaming up ways to improve themselves and the world around them. Yeah, that's kind of true. I mean, not really improve myself, but I'm always trying to think about how to improve things. And the last thing they'd want is for their partners to feel unhappy or stuck. I mean, isn't that true for anybody, though? I mean, I guess. Many people, I wonder if they just recycle this shit for all the personalities. Some people are like, oh, yeah, that sounds like me. Many people with this personality type dedicate themselves, I'm not even going to read the green text because I don't care. Many people with this personality type dedicate themselves to helping their partners improve their lives. While this is a noble goal, mediators must be sure to keep track of their own needs and make sure that their partners are really ready to change. Provided they do so. Yeah, this is, I can't speak about the romantic relationship, but this has been one thing that, why I've felt like less interest in, like I said before, coaching people up. Because I've seen people who, yeah, if they hired me as a life coach, I could do a lot for them. But the truth is they don't really want to change. They want to complain about how things aren't the way they say they are, but they don't really want to do the things to change. Or they're incapable of changing for whatever reason. And I think that's what really describes most people. So in that sense, I mean, what were they saying? They need to make sure that, yeah. So, I mean, for somebody, to me, like, if you really wanted to change, you wouldn't need my help. If you really wanted to change, you'd be doing it on your own. I mean, if you can't do it I'm not saying don't get help because there are times where you need it, but like I'm just talking about life coaching in general. I mean, I bet there are probably certain personality types that do need to be like accountable to somebody to do it, but if I don't know, like you should be able to figure out what you need to do on your own, unless you're just stupid, which a lot of people are. And then you should be able to motivate yourself to do it. But I know there are exceptions, but like for me, if I was gonna try to help somebody, that would be the first thing I would want to notice is like, does this person really want to change? Are they going to be able to be willing to change, put the work in, stuff like that? Finding what's real. Mediators tend to promote harmony over disagreement. Although this lends stability to their relationships, it can also lead to problems. I mean, this is true. I have a very hard time with conflict. To avoid triggering a conflict, mediators may avoid talking openly about things that are bothering them. Yeah, this is true. Instead, they might. Oh wait, we're talking about romantic relationships. So I mean, if they just mean like people in general, this is kind of true. Instead, they might mentally fixate on the problem or try to solve it on their own. Yeah, I mean, it's been like that. They may also focus on making their partner happy to the detriment of their own priorities and sense of self. This is something that I could have seen being more of a problem for me in the past, not really today. So yeah, people with this personality type may need to remind themselves that open, honest communication is necessary in a relationship, even if it isn't always easy. In fact, such moments of candor can transform a relationship for the better. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. My experience has been kind of what I was saying earlier. People do not change. Being honest, like be honest with people, okay? But I mean, I'm all for honesty and stuff. But like, if you're with somebody, and I've never been in long-term relationships, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But I've just noticed from dealing with people in my life, dealing with mostly with family members and stuff, and to a lesser extent bosses and coworkers. If I'll be straight with them, like, "Hey, this thing you're doing is annoying the shit out of me, and I want you to stop." A lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, well, okay, I see what you're saying. I'll stop doing it," and they won't. They won't because they can't. People don't change. That's my experience. Um. So, wait, what were they talking about again? So, yeah, I mean, so for me, it's easier to just like learn to live with it or just terminate that relationship. But I mean, trying to work it out my experience is a waste of time. You either deal or leave. But that might not be good advice, and so your mileage may vary. As long as they communicate openly, mediators are more than capable of staying true to themselves in a relationship, whatever the hell that means, and encouraging the person they care about to do the same. By bringing their whole hearts and minds to the relationships, mediators can find out what it truly means to love and be loved. Friendships. This is another one that's not really relevant. I do have friends, but they're more like, we're not like super close. I haven't had like a super close friendship since I was like in grade school. When it comes to their social lives, mediators may find themselves caught in a web of contradictions. People with this personality type crave alone time, yes, but they're also vulnerable to loneliness. No, not really. I mean, I really don't think so. I do think it's gotten a little bit worse with age. Like it used to be like you could put me alone in a room for years with a computer. As long as I had an internet connection, I'd be fine. As I've gotten older, I do feel like I need more. It mainly to deal with the depression. But I mean, as long as I get some, I wouldn't really say I'm vulnerable to loneliness, because as long as I have some interaction, I'm okay. They long to feel accepted and well liked, but they hate the idea of pretending to be anyone but their authentic selves. And while they hesitate to draw attention to themselves, they don't want to be invisible either. No, I don't. Being invisible is fine. I don't care. The good news is that in the company of true friends, mediators can escape the hamster wheel of these insecurities and focus on what really matters. Okay, what's that? For these personalities, friendship is a precious commodity. No, not true. And an opportunity for two people to lift each other up and change each other's lives for the better. That couldn't be more wrong. But the relationship that I have with my friends definitely does not involve that. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. I don't even think that would apply to the friendships that I had when I was in grade school. That's fucking crazy. What are they talking about? How many people have friendships like that? I mean, maybe some girls, right? But that's about it. And even girls often seem like they're into cutting each other down. So I don't know. Mediators truly believe in the old saying that a friend in need is a friend indeed. No, I really have never liked helping my friends out. It's always made me really uncomfortable. I just felt like if you need help, like, don't you have a family member to talk to? Like, I'd do it just out of sheer obligation. But no, I definitely don't like doing it. Few things bolster their sense of purpose, like being there for someone they care about. No, it's more I do it out of a sense of responsibility. I don't enjoy it. Perhaps because their intense investment in these relationships, mediators tend to feel most fulfilled by spending time in a small, intimate circle of friends. Well, I've always liked the smaller group setting better than the party setting. That was never really my scene. Acquaintances may come and go, but this inner circle is likely to include mediators' friends for life. Well, I am friends with the same guys that I was friends with in high school. So I guess you can say that. I think it's easier today to stay in touch with people like online, because if like we had grown up together like 30 years ago, I think we would have all lost touch because we wouldn't have had cell phones even, let alone texting, let alone internet, stuff like that. And I still can't tell, are those people wearing turbans or do they have long hair? Searching for a kindred spirit. Nope, not happening. Although meteors are warm and accepting, they don't always find it easy to make friends. I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm like a friend that I would see outside of an office or setting. Like, yes, that's hard because I don't want it. So I don't know what they're saying here. This may be because superficial casual relationships can leave these personalities feeling a bit empty. No, it's because a superficial casual relationship is for the most part the only thing that I want. Like, yeah, the other guys, like I said, they're guys I've known for almost my whole life. So like, would I want to hang out with somebody? I mean, I don't know. It's not something I've ever really thought of. I'm certainly not, like what they're saying, looking for authentic friendships with people who share their desire to think and feel deeply. I would not want to be friends with somebody like me. I mean, I can barely handle myself as is. I don't need another Ballface8020 to do the right thing and gives more to the world than they take. Again, that's not even me. So why would I want somebody else like that to hang out with? That said, mediators are capable of befriending all sorts of people. Yes, this is true. That's very true, and been in my experience. The combination of their intuitive and prospecting personality traits draws them to diverse perspectives, which helps them appreciate friends whose experiences and worldviews are totally different from their own. I mean, I guess, like, whatever. The mediators may actually find it invigorating to connect with someone who on the surface has little in common. Yeah, that's true. For mediators, a true friendship is founded on shared values, not just shared experiences. What? I don't know what I guess. I have no idea what he's saying. People with this personality type are unlikely to form strong friendships simply out of convenience. Well, I'm just unlikely to form strong friendships, period. For example, while their affection for their coworkers may be strong, just working in the same office or shop isn't enough for mediators to guarantee a substantial friendship. True. Deeper connections must come into play. Well, again, why would I want deeper connection with my coworkers? I'm not understanding this. I'm really not understanding this. They're kind of losing the thread here. Friends for life. When mediators befriend someone, they may secretly or not so secretly hope to stay close with that person for life. That kind of is true. Like, like there'll be like people who I'm like talking to like on the street for like 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh man, I hope we stay friends. And a lot of people who I'm talking to at work, like on the phone, to sell them insurance. I'm like, oh, hey, like, and I'm always thinking like, hey, are we going to stay in touch and stuff? And like, of course we're not, because why would we? But I mean, that is true. These personalities are capable of strong, stable relationships marked by passionate support, subtle poetic wit. What the fuck? And a profound level of emotional insight. Okay, man, you tell me. Long-standing friendships tend to draw out less obvious aspects of the mediator personality type, including a fierce protective streak. No, false. Many mediators find that they can stand up for their friends in ways that they'd struggle to manage for themselves. I don't know. I guess the thing would be like, I don't think really my friends, I think just people in general, I would be more likely to stand up for somebody else in a way that I wouldn't for myself, because I wouldn't feel like obligated to stand up for myself. I'd be, for myself, I'm more willing to just choose my battles. And if it was for somebody else, there could be a case where I have to, quote, stand up for them out of sheer guilt or sense of responsibility. So maybe I guess that's true. I don't know. Although mediators value their friendships, they also need personal space, yes, and alone time in order to recharge. Exactly. Which is why when I had friends in high school, I never hung out with them. I rarely hung out with them over the weekends. And some of that was because I was shy and didn't like the whole party scene that they were in. But a lot of it was just like I was burned out from the week and I just needed to recharge. At times, people with this personality type may withdraw from even their closest friends in order to reconnect with themselves and restore their energy. Yes, always been as all introverts must. These departures are usually temporary, but mediators may need to make sure that their friends don't feel snubbed by their absence. I don't think my friends have ever cared. Mediators look for ways to improve their friendships and share their affection with those who matter to them. No, not true. Often this takes the form of spending quality time with their friends. Not really. Coming up with grand visions of the future. When I was a kid and I had those super close friends, yeah, we did kind of do stuff like that. And sharing their secret dreams and ideas. I've never had any secret dreams. I've always been pretty upfront about my dreams. I mean, people may have thought they were retarded, but I've been upfront with them. And ideas with someone they know they can trust. I don't trust anybody. But even when mediators are simply entirely on their own, they always hold their friends in their hearts. Not really, if I'm being honest. But when I was a kid, definitely. When I was a younger kid, definitely, absolutely. I mean, friends were like, which is why I was always like, you remember like Like when you were a kid and maybe you felt the same way. I'm talking about like grade school. The idea of moving away seemed like the most traumatic thing in the world because your friends were like your life. Um, the then I mean, but so yeah, I mean, but so what they're talking about, I think, describes me up through like sixth grade, but not beyond that. For me, certainly in grade school. So I think they're way off there. For mediators, life is a journey. This is parenthood. This is completely irrelevant. I'm not even going to talk about this because I don't have kids. I never will have kids. Always knew I didn't want to have kids. Have had times where I had to take on the childcare role with my nieces and nephews. Absolutely hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Like you can't even believe. So it's just not for me. It's just not for me. All right. I really respect people who do it. I think that a lot of people enjoy it. I just don't get it. I don't get what you see in it. Career paths. And then I know we're doing pretty bad on time. Many mediators long for a career that doesn't just take care of the bills, but also feels fulfilling. Well, I mean, I guess. Like, I mean, if you're going to do it, you want to do it right. But I don't know. It depends what they mean by fulfilling. They want to spend their days doing something they genuinely love, preferably without too much stress or drama. Look, I mean, sure, but isn't that true for everybody? For ever the idealist, mediators might struggle to find a profession that meets their practical needs and fulfills their dreams. I mean, it took a long time to find sales, but I did it, so I don't know. These personalities may drift in frustration, waiting for the perfect job to present itself, and eventually feeling stuck or worried that they're not living up to their potential. Now, the reason that I kept quitting or getting fired from jobs was because I hated them. It had nothing to do with thinking like, oh, I'm waiting for the perfect job. The perfect job for me was something that I didn't have to put in a lot of hours in and didn't stress me out or I didn't hate too much. Alas, there's no such thing as a perfect job. I have pretty close. I mean, my job isn't like, I guess isn't perfect, but I mean, what I do is pretty close. Pretty much anybody. I mean, my job is pretty close. Alas, there's no such thing as a perfect job, and the question of whether to settle for a less than ideal position can weigh heavily on people with this personality type. Fortunately, mediators' creativity, independence, and sincere desire to connect with and help others can help them shine and find fulfillment in nearly any line of work. What? Can find fulfillment in nearly any line of work? I mean, my entire life is just me getting fired from jobs. This is not true. A place for everyone. Certain careers and vocations seem to hold a special allure for these personalities. What, like professional boxing? Because that didn't work out. With their curiosity and their love for self-expression, many mediators dream of becoming writers. No. They might write novels. No. Seek out interesting freelance niches. No. Or even find themselves doing communications in a corporate field or for a nonprofit organization. Nope. Richly imaginative, mediators confuse even the driest fundraising or marketing materials with new life. Nope. Can't do that. Not true. Although this personality type isn't known for seeking the spotlight, other mediators find their life purpose in the performing arts. No. These mediators can draw from their inner depths to pull out exquisite interpretations of a creator's work. They may also create their own works as playwrights, composers, or choreographers. No. No, no, no. I'm sorry. Whatever they do, mediators want to feel their work is helping others. Again, when I do want to feel like I'm in sales and I want to feel that everybody I sell to, I'm helping, but it's not like a thing in and of itself. Like it's not something that like I need to be like, let's say I knew that I wasn't helping anybody. That would be okay. I mean, I couldn't live if I was hurting people, but it would be, I mean, to me, I don't think that it's sort of true, but it's sort of not. It's not surprising then that many people with this personality type choose careers that are focused on service, such as counseling, psychology, teaching, healthcare, social work, massage therapy, or physical rehabilitation. All basically are just a list of things that I would never consider doing. For these caring, so I know psychology I consider doing if I could make it through the school, which I couldn't, and counseling I could do if I could make it through the schooling. But teaching, healthcare, social work, and massage therapy or physical rehabilitation, give me a fucking break. I could never do that. I'd be miserable. For these caring, supportive personalities, few things are more meaningful than seeing their work help and change someone's life. False! False! Again, it's really not a big deal to me. My dream was to be a professional boxer, which involved hurting people. So you're wrong. Finding their way. Mediators are adaptable, but they may find it demotivating to work in high-stress, bureaucratic, or hectic environments. Yes, true. They can also become. I need to work in a small business. I can't work in like a corporate setting. It's too too stifling and stuff. I can't deal with all the rules. They can also become frustrated by workplaces that are highly critical or competitive. Yeah, I do not handle criticism well. I mean, that's something that's just as bad for me now as before the Depression. If a place is going to be like critical, not even just to me personally, but just to the group, I'm out. I can't deal with criticism. Like if it's just one specific thing, that's one thing, but it can't be like regularly, like saying, oh, we're not meeting these goals, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. It's like, you know what, get somebody else. Workplaces that reward independence tend to be a good fit for mediators. Although, yes, that's true. Although they may appreciate some structure, yes, it's true, and oversight to help them avoid procrastinating and getting lost in thought. True. For me, it's getting lost like surfing the web, but yeah. That said, mediators don't need ideal conditions to thrive professionally. These personalities want to live in tune with their values and their careers as much as any other aspect of their lives. They can put up with and overcome any number of challenges if they pursue a sense of mission in their work. Well, I've never had a sense of mission in my work. For me, work has always been just a way to make money. So, I don't know. Workplace habits. We're almost done. Mediators want to feel a sense of purpose in their work. Again, are they talking about Casey? Because this really isn't me. Wherever they find themselves on the job ladder, they try to cultivate an emotional, more in connection to what they do. No. Looking for reassurance that their day-to-day efforts are helping people. No, in some shape or form. This desire to be of service colors how mediator personalities respond to authorities in the workplace as well as how they express it. Mediator subordinates. As employees, mediators tend to be loyal, upbeat, and considerate. True. They take pride in being honest and doing the right things in all circumstances. True. People with this personality type also feel gratified by pleasing others, from their bosses to their customers. That's true. Yes, I do like that. Mediators may feel mostly motivated when they're thinking up ways to help others. True. Not worrying about checklists or bottom lines. Yes, that's true. This explains why praise and positive feedback can make them light up. True. On the flip side, criticism can lead these personalities to shut down. True. When faced with punishing expectations or a highly negative boss, they may find it harder to get things done. Yeah, I just quit. Add the distraction of constantly ringing phone or an overflowing inbox, and you have a recipe for a seriously stressed out mediator. Yes, true. Mediator employees enjoy having freedom and latitude. Their creativity and insight enable them to shake up old, ineffective ways of doing things, as long as they're given the chance to speak up and make changes. That said, they tend to benefit from deadlines and clear expectations to keep them on track. Fair enough. Otherwise, people with this personality type may get caught up in procrastination, bouncing from one idea to another rather than settling down and crossing tasks off their to-do list. Okay. Mediator colleagues. Mediators value equality and fairness, so it's no surprise that they can feel stifled by workplace hierarchies. They prefer professional environments where everyone feels valued and is encouraged to share their ideas, no matter their job title. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like smaller shops, which are kind of like that. As colleagues, mediators do what they can to make this ideal a reality. In their quiet way, mediators can become the glue that holds their workplace together. Although their voice might not be the loudest, they are often admired for their insight, with coworkers routinely coming to them for advice. No, I wouldn't really say I've noticed that, and people coming to me for advice. Often I've noticed people coming to me for help, because they know that I'll be willing to do it, but not for advice. Pleasant and kind-hearted mediators don't like conflict, drama, or workplace politics. Instead, they try to act in ways that foster harmony and cooperation. Yeah, I think that's been the case with me. When someone needs help, mediators tend to pitch in without expectation of praise or recognition. That's true. Because you're not going to get either. So, mediators and managers. As managers, well, I've never really been in an authority position, so I can't comment on this, but I think it would be like, let's just say if I were a manager. As managers, mediators are among the personality types least likely to act as if they're in charge. Yes, that's true. I hate telling people what to do. They respect their employees as full-fledged human beings, not just as workers. Exactly why I find it so hard to do it. Rather than make all the decisions themselves, mediators often ask to hear an employee's thoughts and opinions. I don't think I would do that, but I think I would be receptive to feedback. In general, people with this personality type don't micromanage. Yes, absolutely. Micromanaging is stupid. I hate being micromanaged, and I have no desire to micromanage. Instead, they keep their eyes on the big picture. They see it as their responsibility to support their employees, not to tell them exactly what to do and how to do it. Yes, that is how I'd feel. Whenever possible, they encourage the people who work for them to develop their own ideas and use their own best judgment. That's something I really believe in very strongly. Absolutely. There is a downside to this management style. Sometimes mediators may struggle to set boundaries, drill down in inefficiencies, or offer criticism, even when it's necessary. Yes, would be a huge problem for me in an authority position. Hate telling people what to do, hate criticizing people. It would be very difficult for me. This can slow down their team and create needless stress, both for the mediator and for their employees. At times, managers with this personality type may need to be strict for the good of their team and the workplace as a whole. Yes, that would be a problem for me. All right, conclusion, and then we'll let you guys go. Few personality types are as poetic and kind-hearted as mediators. Well, thank you for the kind-hearted part. The poetic is not true. I'm not poetic at all. With their unique gifts, mediators can overcome all sorts of challenges and obstacles and brighten the lives of those around them in the process. Yeah, I don't know if I've never been accused of brightening the lives of people. That's I'm a pretty cynical guy, so I've never been accused of that. That maybe I brighten the lives of people without them noticing it. Yet mediators can be tripped up in areas where ideas and altruism are more of a liability than an asset. Okay, I guess that's true. When it comes to finding or keeping a partner, making friends, pursuing a meaningful career, or planning for the future, people with this personality type may need to consciously develop their weaker traits to gain new skills, even as they draw on their many strengths. Well, yeah, this is kind of something I've noticed with sales. That I did need to change the way I did things, but it's like for me, I mean, I don't know. For me, like again, like I said, this year with depression really has had a noticeable personality change impact on me, and it's made selling easier. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the answer is just to struggle with a year-long battle with depression. I don't know. Maybe that's what mediators need. What you have read so far is just an introduction to the complexity of the mediator personality type. Yeah, but you know what? I've had a look, it wasn't that bad, but honestly, I had a professional test done once for a job. It was going to be like selling flooring or something, and they were ready to hire me based off the personality test. But it was like they were describing my personality. It was like they got it so dead on, and I had no idea how they did it from the questions they asked. This one was good, not great. Again, I don't know like if it just says the same shit for everybody. So, I think it was very accurate overall. And like very inaccurate in some ways, particularly about like the romance and parent stuff. Maybe that's like a special kind of mediator that that's just kind of a niche of a niche, so they don't have it. And then and they were really playing up like you have this drive to make the world a better place and help others, and it's just not true. Like I mean, there's something to it, but overall, it's not true. So anyway, that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next.